Hello, I'm Dr. Keshia Keith, and today we're going to talk about, are you comfortable living in the pit? And the reason I asked that question is because I was listening to something and it started to talk about how we can live in so much dysfunction, so much disarray, so much of things that continue to become very difficult, very consequential to our lives, but at times we do not realize that that is exactly what is happening. We do not realize how frustrating it is, and that frustration has become something that we have grown accustomed to. And in that growing accustomed to it, it becomes like we are pretty much laying in the meadow's grass, but we are absolutely living in the pit. And we are comfortable being in that space and in that place because we have tried so many things, we have done so many things, but we do not see where any change or any significant impact has been made. We do not see ourselves moving in a direction that propels us forward. We actually sometimes can see that we are taking 2 steps forward and moving 10 steps backward because some things are not going the way that we had thought. Some things that we had worked hard on, maybe they kind of stalled or maybe they fell apart. But we are in a space right now where we feel that overwhelm, but that overwhelm has become something that we have just known and we've become really good friends with it. We have engaged in it so long that it feels like our normal. And in that normal, we really are living in the pit. Now, granted, the pit is absolutely a space where sometimes we get because of various things that are happening, and we can feel like this is my plot, this is my plight, this is where God wants me to be because he's punishing me, or he's doing something because I've done something wrong, or I made a misstep. And sometimes that's not even the case, because in the case of Joseph, he ended up in a pit not of his own doing. He was doing what he needed to be doing, but he found himself there. And in that space, for him, he already knew that he was going to be able to come out of that pit. But sometimes for us in real life, when we're out here and things are going in a particular way and we are doing what we need to do, we are, following the rules, we're following regulations, we're being nice and kind to our neighbor, we're doing all those things, but it does not feel like we are making any headway. We feel like we absolutely are in the pit. People are talking about us, they're lying on us, they're doing all kinds of things that we can't even control, but we are still trying to keep our head up, keep our chin up, move forward, do the things we need to do and be where we need to be. However, we find ourselves in that pit. And so we start to say, what's the use? What's the use of me trying? Does that feel like you? Does that feel like where you have been? Does that feel like where you are? Are you right now feeling like I'm in this pit? And yeah, it's become my friend because I'm so used to being down that I don't remember what up looks like or what up feels like. And that's a true story. That's a true feeling. And in that, understand that you got to let yourself off the hook of feeling like all of these things, all of this heaviness, all of this weight, all the stuff that you thought should have happened a particular way, that because it's not happening that way, you find yourself just feeling like this is it. This is where I'm going to be. And since it's where I'm going to be content that this is my plight. But I'm here to absolutely let you know that I don't want you to be content in staying there, in staying stuck there. I want you to be content in the situation in the sense that you realize that this is just the bottom. It's like the song, started from the bottom, now we're here. Trying to be at the bottom. You are at the bottom. You are at your lowest points, or what feels like your lowest points. You are at that stuck phase, in that stuck situation that feels like there's no exit door. There's no turning. There's no shifting. That there's a time where you are absolutely going to climb out of that. You are going to be released from that space. Something's going to shift. Something's going to change. But your mindset cannot be that this is it. This is what it's going to be. So I've just become really, really good and feeling really, really all right in this space. I'm laying in it. No, it's dysfunction. No, it's frustrating. No, it's not right. No, it is not your very last phase or your very last place. place of where you're going to be. No, this is not home. So do not put a home sweet home sign up. Do not move in, put furniture there, put up some curtains and call it beautiful when it is garbage. Be honest about where you are. Allow yourself to remind yourself that this right here, this is not beautiful. This is not wonderful. This is not the beautiful thing and the great plan. It might be on the journey to fulfilling the plan, but this is not it. This is not where I'm going to be. I am not going to be stuck here. I'm going to get up out of here. And sometimes maybe you don't realize that you are stuck in it, because in all honesty, in some ways, certain things have started from when we were even younger. When certain things would happen, someone would offend you or someone would do something and it was never addressed. Even in the sense of abuse or molestation or all of those difficult situations and terrible things, there are times where literally you were in a space where you still had to share space and you still had to be around those people who violated you, and no one came to your rescue and had a conversation. No one made everybody else aware that this is what was happening. Or some people were aware because unfortunately it was happening to them, but there was never the ability to speak and use your voice to say, this is not right, and we should not be in a space where we feel trapped, where we feel like it is okay for us to be in this space, or it is okay. We are validating this person's existence, regardless of who that person is, whether it's aunt, uncle, parent, cousin, friend, whoever. It is never okay for you to be violated and then have to continue to be victimized and emotionally violated as a result of having to be in that space still without anybody coming to the rescue of saying this is not right, coming to the rescue of holding that particular person accountable and saying this is what happened to me, because you never know who else around you has been impacted by that very person or a similar situation. That is necessary, but it is becoming in comfort in the pit, becoming comfortable in that space and in that difficult situation, which is not a good thing. It is never good for you to have to hide how you have been hurt or how you feel, and because this is what everybody, the environment you are in, is making it okay for that person to continue to do what they're doing. We all have to be held accountable in some way, but for you, allow yourself to free yourself. Allow yourself to use your voice. Allow yourself to say, this is what happened to me, and might not be anybody else's story, but it's my story. It's my truth, and I'm standing up today because we cannot continue to validate what is wrong. We cannot continue to give space for hurt and harm. We cannot continue to allow others to take what has been precious, what has been honest and pure and true, and turn it and violate it. We cannot continue to allow people to be intrusive and do things that create and bring harm. It is time for you to be able to get up, but maybe you don't even realize and recognize that you're content in the pit. And this is why the 3 things I want you to ask yourself about when you are even asking yourself, am I feeling stuck? Am I feeling like I have had to close my mouth and be in a space where I cannot speak, where I cannot speak up and speak out, where I cannot express my emotion? So if that's you, I want you to stop and ask yourself, 1, what would you say if a friend were experiencing similar things? What would you tell your friend? Is it all right for that friend to have experienced that? Would you say that's okay? That's number 1. Would you tell a friend that experience was okay? If that's a no, then yeah, you are in the pit. Number 2, do you find yourself worrying at least 3 to 4 days out of the 7 days a week about that particular thing? Does that particular thing cross your mind at some point and consume any span of time in your thought process? If you can say, yes, that's true. I counted up the days and yeah, that's true. Then you have been in the pit. Number 3, do you feel a sense of anxiety about that particular situation? Even when you don't think about having a conversation or think about trying to do or figure out what to do about that situation at least 3 to 4 days out of that 7-day week. If you answer yes, you are probably in the pit. And in that space and in that pit and in those feelings and in those emotions of the overwhelm, I encourage you to take time, number one, to reverse this of remembering and reminding yourself every day that you are your best friend as well, that you are important, that you are necessary, that what happened to you, what you are experiencing, what you are going through in the pit, whether it's from trauma or any other situations that have you stuck and feeling like you are in the pit, that you are important, that you are your best friend. So take your best friend's advice. So what is it that you would tell your best friend in that situation? Take your best friend's advice, because that becomes important, because then that provides value for you, because you are valuable. That allows you to really, really come and see yourself, really, really come and sit with yourself, so that you can acknowledge that these are true feelings, that these are not things that I need to be suppressing or holding on to or feeling guilty about, because I am important and I matter. I'm valuable. I am more valuable than the situation that created whatever trauma, whatever hurt may have been caused upon me. I am more valuable. Number two, when it comes to feeling that sense of worry, I want you to change one thing about your situation every day that makes that worry dissipate more and more and more. So maybe that is, I have not been taking time for myself. I have not been taking time to pray. I have not been taking time to breathe. I feel like I've been walking and I've been holding my breath this whole time. If that feels like where it is, taking time to forcefully allow yourself to inhale and exhale, allowing yourself to breathe, allowing yourself to shift your focus, allowing yourself to sit with the situation, allowing yourself, if you need to talk it out, talk it through, definitely getting with a counselor, seeking out a counselor. Absolutely, that is necessary and that is essential, because you have to be able to acknowledge it, address it, so that it can be healed. You've got to be in that space. You've got to be open to doing that, because some of this journey, you just can't walk alone, or you just can't walk with a friend, because they are not knowledgeable to enough. They have great value, but are not knowledgeable enough to be able to help you walk through some of this situation, whether it be the trauma or whatever it is that you might be dealing with. That is an important piece. Allowing yourself, when it comes to the anxiousness, reminding yourself that I'm okay. That situation was not okay. That situation did absolutely hurt me, but I am okay. I am going to be okay, even if I don't feel okay right now. You have to retrain, reshift, refocus, so that you are reducing that anxiety that is building up. And that anxiety building up is the result of having pushed down some of these emotions, having made it so commonplace to feel what you've been feeling, that you have just really joined hands with it and allowed it to be what it is, allowed it to be in a space of that comfortability in discomfort. It has become a situation where you feel comfortable in the discomfort. And that is not where you were designed to be. You were designed to be healthy, healed, and whole. And in that, somebody absolutely took something from you. They absolutely may have done some things to you. And for that, I absolutely say that I am apologetic that happened to you, because that was not good. That was not right. Somebody may have said something or may have done something that was not good. That was not right. That was not encouraging or uplifting. It created a sense of shame in you, a sense of guilt in you, whatever emotion you might be feeling. And that is not okay, because you deserve healthy, healed, and whole. And so I encourage you to sit with what we just talked about, so that you can really understand. If you are feeling comfortable in the pit, I encourage you today, right now, to start working on getting up and getting out, because the pit is not your home. It is not home sweet home. It is for you to be healthy, whole, and healed, so that you can continue to move forward, so that you can continue to grow through the dry places. And I am offering and this sense of the group therapy for the interrupted woman, that is exactly a good space to be able to connect with other women who are doing their work, who are saying that they don't want to be in the pit anymore, that they want to get out, that they want to continue to move forward. You can feel free to absolutely come join us, because that is where some of the work starts. But it's not just in the group. It's when you're at home. It's when you're at work. It's wherever you find yourself. You are working to continue to do things differently, continuing to think differently, continuing to move forward, so that you are, even in the dry places, you are continuing to grow. Because these are the dry places, but the dry places are not the place where you belong continuously and all the time. So let's continue. Let's move forward. Let's grow. And I will talk with you next time. Have an awesome rest of your day.